Welcome, everyone. So yeah, as I said, if you have a strap today, or a yoga belt, or a pair of tights, or a dressing gown belt, or anything of that nature, bring it in. And anything that you might like to stuff under your hips to help alleviate any kind of overstretching later on, that might be helpful as well, or anything you might like to elevate your hips with now as we sit and come into center. So take a moment to get those things ready. Take a moment to settle yourself in. Like I say, it's hip work today, but of course, working holistically with the body, we're going to try and remember to use our side body and lengthen our torso, engaging the core, opening our upper spine and lengthening our upper spine. So all of the things that we've been doing throughout this term always kind of culminating to this lovely holistic experience and awareness of everything that you're using when you're using it. I'll just be kind of bringing the focus towards the hips a little bit today, but mostly stuff you're aware of or that you've done before, but with a new kind of element of focus. So find a comfortable seated position for yourself today. So we'll sit for a moment just to, again, become aware. You always become very aware of your hips when you're sitting in cross-leg position. So let's use that today. Sit nice and tall. Stack your shoulders above your hips. Tighten in your lower belly, just to support you as you sit. Once aware of your surroundings, close your eyes. And start to reel yourself in from the external to the internal. Become aware of the natural flow of your breath. And with each exhale, allow yourself to soften into your hips and into your legs a little bit more while still maintaining the strength you need to stay upright and tall. So take a moment to decipher what you can let go of and what you need to maintain physically. Much easier to decipher the physical than the emotional and the mental. So when you are physically ready and adjusted, then see what, for a moment, from today's experiences, what you can let go of, what you can maintain. And hopefully it's letting go of the negative, maintaining the positive. And without getting carried away by the stories associated with those experiences today, just then come back to your breath. Allow your shoulders to melt back and down. Feel an expansion in your chest on your inhale. As though you're lengthening through your spine and allowing your sternum to lift towards your chin. Expanding outwards and up. And then that soft release of the exhale. Continue to follow the flow of your breath, just bringing a little stillness and awareness of the self. So that you can truly invest the whole self in your practice, not just the physical, the mental, the emotional, maybe even the spiritual into your practice today. Everything invested. And then today we're going to practice a little Nadi Shodhana. So with your right hand, let's bring the first 2 fingers to the third eye, or eyebrow center. Your thumb is going to hover beside your right nostril. Your ring finger is going to hover beside your left nostril. Ready to close alternate nostrils so we can breathe through. So let's take a deep breath in with both nostrils open. With your thumb, close your right nostril, breathe out through your left. 1, 2, 4, in through the left, 2, 3, 4, 5, close left, out right, 2, 3, 4, 5, in right, 2, 3, 4, 5, out left, 2, 3, 4, 5, in left, 2, 3, 4, 5, right, 2, 3, 4, 5, in right, 2, 3, 4, 5, left, 2, 3, 4, 5, in left, 3, 4, 5, out right, 2, 3, 4, 5, in right, 2, 3, 4, 5, out left, 2, 3, 4, left, 3, 4, 5, out right, 2, 3, 4, 5, in right, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out left, 2, 3, 4. Let your hands rest. It's a nice pranayama for bringing balance. So anytime, take time during your day to come into little pranayama any day. And that's a really nice one for me that works and helps to really focus the mind, balance the body, balance the energies. So we're going to make our way down now onto our backs and start with knees bent, back flat, and just gently rocking over your sacrum. So tilting your pelvis forward as you press your tailbone down, and you'll feel the lower back lift and arch dramatically. And then as you roll back over the sacrum, flattening your lower back into the mat, making so your hand can't fit through. And again, just do that a little bit more. And then becoming aware of the pelvic floor, Mula Bandha. So start to engage the pelvic floor, rock back and forth over the pelvis. Okay, so noticing that arching and flattening of the lower back. Let's start to bring our knees into the chest, or at least let them up over your hips. So knees up over the hips, hands resting on top. And we're going to gently draw the knees in, and you'll notice your lower back flattening to the mat. Open your legs out. Push them forward. Engage your core here. And you'll, again, as your knees go forward, you'll feel that that arch of the back deepen, and then coming back into center. And let's do that again. Round out. So draw the knees apart. Let them go forward. So just gently, lightly resting your hands on, coming in. Engage the core. Draw in the belly. Rounding forward and back. One more of those. Opening out to the side. Coming in. Coming back. Let's change direction. Draw away and out and in and away. Tighten the tummy. Away, out and in. Away, out and in. Just one more of those. Draw in your belly. Lift the pelvic floor. Out and in. Okay, let's start to bring the feet to the ground. Grab your strap. We'll stretch into the hamstrings, into the hips. So belt around the right foot, stretching up. Feel like you're really bringing your hip, your leg, your femur down into the hip socket. If you feel okay, stretch out your left leg, or you can keep your foot on the mat with the knee bent. Let's see if you can stretch it out. Let the shoulders soften as you walk your hands up towards the foot. And then just take a few breaths into the stretch through the back of the leg into the maintain a sense of kind of firmness in the lower belly, not strongly engaged at this point, but you know, awareness and engagement, switching on the bandhas. Okay, let's take the belt into the right hand, open out to the right as far as your room allows you. I'll kick open the door if I go any further, so you'll have to get the idea. I'll scooch over to the side of it. Opening into, and again, special focus on the area in the hip where the leg joins into the pelvis. And inhaling up. Swap the belt into the other hand and take a stretch to the other side. So you're gonna try, you'll feel your right buttock coming off the mat, but try not to let the sacrum come off the mat. So keep that sacrum pressed down firmly into the ground, drawing your belly, and just see how far across you can bring that leg without rolling and twisting. Okay, then see if you can unhook the belt, bend your knee, place your left hand on the knee and take a twist. Open your shoulder back towards the mat, your right shoulder back to the mat, drawing your belly. Let the right knee come towards the floor. Don't worry if it doesn't come all the way. Just take as deep a twist as your body will allow at this early stage of your practice. One more breath. And rolling back to center. Stretch out the right leg. Bring the left foot into the belt. Stretch up. Walk your hands up. Relax your shoulders. Lengthen and straighten your left leg. Straighten out your right leg and engage it as you press it into the ground. Relax the shoulders. Relax the jaw. Engage the core. Take one more breath. Take the belt into the left hand, open out to the left. Core firm, belly engaged, pelvic floor lifting. Right buttock pressing down into the floor. And again, inhale to come up, swap the belt into the right hand, draw the left foot over and left leg across the body, across the midline. And again, trying not to let the sacrum lift up, so you'll get a better stretch in your outer hip. It's a hard one to get a good stretch in across up for this outer hip. We'll be working on strengthening this now and again in a while, but and getting a bit more stretch here, but this is generally a hard one to achieve. So this is a good way to get that. And inhaling to come back up. Exhale to release. Okay. So just for a little extra core work, we're going to do that without the belt. Okay, we won't hold it quite as long though. So inhale, come up. Hug your leg in towards you with your hands. Lift your head and shoulders off the ground. Then let go. Stretch your heel to the ceiling. Okay, take your hands to the inside of your leg. Bring your right arm over. Open out to the side. Again, I can only go so far. Inhale, come up. Switch the hands to the outside of the right leg and lower the foot down. Keep the head and shoulder blades lifting off the ground if you can. Inhale, come up, lift, lift, lift. Draw the leg in towards you as far as you can. And release. Left side up, inhale. Draw the leg in towards you, lift your head and shoulders off the ground. The shoulder blades clear of the mat as much as possible. Reach out.
You take the left arm inside the left leg, open the leg out to the side, keep the head and shoulders lifting if you can. If you need to come down to. Inhale, come up. Hands to the outside of that left leg, drawing that left leg over for another little stretch. Working the core as you go. And coming up to center, really reach in, draw the leg in towards you. And really stretch it out. And we're going to bring ourselves up and onto all fours. So rock yourself up. And we're going to face this way today. So let's start with cat-cow just to bring some movement into the back that's been lying flat on the ground for a while. So spread out your fingers, round down through each and every part of the hand. So fingertips, base of each finger, heel of the hand. Inhale, arch the spine, lift the tail, stretch out that belly that's just been worked. Feel those muscles perhaps. Exhale, round the spine, look back. Inhale, look up. Exhale, look back, stretch the back up. Inhale. Let's circle at the hips. So you start with circles on your knees, hips moving back, out to the side, or the other side and back. And then start, once you've kind of got that movement, to kind of work your cat-cow into it. So you're rounding as you come forward and arching as you go back. Rounding, arching, rounding. Arching, change direction, go back the other way. More circles. And back to center. Okay, so we're going to we're going to pick up our right leg and we're going to lift it up back behind us. So working again into this full circle of the hip, drawing in the belly. Then lifting the knee out to the side without letting the weight fall over onto the left, okay? So try and keep the hips stable and steady. Lifting the right knee up, bringing it forward, closing it in, bringing it back, opening to the side, bringing it forward, bringing it back. Out, in and forward, back, out. Lift it up as high as you can. So really find the strength here in the glutes. In, forward, and back, then out. Last one. In, back. And then we're going to step that foot to outside our right hand. So it's going to step forward like this. Let your left knee slide back a little bit more. Sink down into that lunge position. Hold it here for a moment. And then we're going to start to walk the hands back. Let the hips come back. Straightening the right leg, pointing the toes towards the ceiling, or even curling them back towards the shin to really flex that foot. Exhale back into the bent knee lunge. Inhale, straighten the leg. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, come forward. Bring your hands to the ground inside the foot. Step back. Hold your plank. Strengthen your legs. Tighten your tummy. Drop your knees. We're going to come down into a bent knee, kind of chaturanga. Lowering down. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Very good. Come on down. The belly. Bring your hands like to the front corner of your mat. So out further than your shoulders and out in front of your shoulders. TP up your fingers, come onto the fingertips. Inhale, so without hunching your shoulders, draw the shoulders down. Inhale up to a cobra or a variation of a cobra. Exhale, come down. Inhale, come up. Exhale, come down. Just one more like that. Press the toenails into the mat. Inhale up. Exhale down. Bring your hands back under the shoulders. Lift to your tabletop position. Get the hip knees back under the hips, wrists back under the shoulders. And we'll go to the other side. So I'll just spin myself around so you can see better. Okay, so left leg, lifting behind, out to the side, drawing your belly, stay steady in your hips. Drawing, kick back, out to the side, in towards the chest, and back. Out, into the chest, back. Out, lift it higher if you can. In, back, strong core, especially at this point, you kind of feel they need the extra strength. And back, one more. In, and back. This time again, step your left foot forward, the outside of your left hand. Take the lunge, so slide your right knee back if you can take more. Stretch. And just give yourself a couple of breaths to sink down into that position. Lengthen your spine. Feel a rippling effect up through the spine to the neck and the head. And then we'll start to sink back. Peel the toes off the ground, point them to the ceiling into your kind of seated pyramid position. Nice and straight in the knee. Back again, exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Inhale. Exhale, last one. Inhale. Bring your foot back to the mat. Hands back inside. Step back. Downward facing dog. Inhale into your plank. Exhale, drop the knees. This time we're going to engage the core and take a few little press ups with knees on the ground. So lower yourself down to that chaturanga position. Inhale, push yourself back up. Exhale, so don't let the hips sink. Inhale, come up. Exhale, down. Inhale, come up. Let's do one more. Exhale, down. Inhale up. This time you can let yourself come all the way down. Again, make that same position with your arms for your cobra. Flatten your toes. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower. Inhale up. Exhale, lower. Walk your hands back in. Push up. So either on knees or not on knees to the plank. Exhale, downward dog. Take a stretch. And then just gently start to walk your feet up to your hands. Inhale into a half lift. Exhale to fold yourself in. Inhale, rise up. So let's come up with a straight back today. Strong legs, strong core, strong glutes. Lifting up. Exhaling to the heart. So we're going to take 2 rounds of Surya Namaskar A today, our sun salute. So bring the feet together, roll the shoulders back, and hands down. Round through your feet, engage your legs. Lengthen the tail, neutralizing the pelvis. So this is all about the hip area, pelvis, into lower back, glutes engaged. On your inhale, reaching up, lengthening, looking up. Exhale, folding forward, again, strong core, strong legs, folding in. Inhale, look forward. Step back. And I want you to remember all the work we did on our upward facing dog last week. So we're going to take it in stages again this week just to remind you to refresh. But hopefully you've been doing loads of practice. So let's drop the knees. Lower down, straight back, elbows in. Inhale, cobra. Legs on the ground, hips on the ground. Exhale. Tuck the toes. We're going to push ourselves, propel ourselves forward between our hands and lift the legs off the ground, coming onto the tops of the feet. So push off the toes, flip them over, upward dog. Take another breath. Exhale, push to downward facing dog. Take 3 more breaths. Lengthen your spine. Push back into the hips, into the sit bones. Keep your knees bent as much as you need to. Maybe melt the heels towards the floor. 1 more breath. Coming onto tiptoes. Look forward, either jump forward or step forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, close. Hands down. On your next inhale, reaching up. Exhale, folding. Inhale, lengthening, half lift. Step back, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Now let's see if we can push forward and up to upward dog. Chest through the arms. Exhale, downward dog. Separate the feet hip distance. Soften the knees till you've got a nice length in your spine. Stretch back to your sit bones. Press your chest back towards your thighs. And then maybe start to straighten your legs. And then on the next exhale, we're looking forward, stepping or jumping up. We're going to jump this time. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, back to the heart. So just take a pause. Allow yourself to return to a nice steady flow of breath. And then we're going to actually leave your hands together at your heart. We're going to ground down firmly through the right foot actually. You're standing on the right. You're going to lift the left so that your knee comes up to hip height. Flex your foot. Hold for another breath. You're steady. So I really want you to kind of think about the strength of your right hip here now that's going to be kind of supporting you. We're going to be pivoting at the hip to come into warrior 3 and then through to a lunge. Okay, so engage the core. Good. Tighten up especially the outer glutes if you can isolate that idea. Start to lean forward as you kick your foot back, straightening the leg if you can. Toe points to the floor. Gently start to bend your right knee and let your left foot float very gently to the floor. Okay, reaching up, high lunge. And I want you to try, instead of having your heel back, I want you to get your heel right up over your toes of that left foot and up through the legs. You'll feel your quads engaging a little bit more. Take your feet wider apart if you need to get a good lunge going. Reach the arms up. Maybe look up. Okay. We're going to start to straighten both legs and bring the arms down. And still stay up on the toes of the left foot. Bend the knees. Sorry, bend the right knee and come into your lunge. Straighten the legs. Bend the right knee, think down, straighten up. Bend, drop the left knee to the floor, straighten both. Bend the right knee, drop the left knee to the floor, and come back up. One more. Inhale. And exhale. Now bend the right knee, and this time exhale the left knee down, inhale the left knee up, but you're keeping the right knee straight, bent. So knee over the ankles, keeping it there. Down with the knee, inhale up. Exhale, bend your left knee, inhale, straighten the left leg. One more of those, down and up, hands to the ground. Take your vinyasa, step back. Exhale, lower, chaturanga or to the ground. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Feeling it in those hips yet? Okay. Let's step to the top of the mat, both feet. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, carry through your heart. Take a breath again. Just to let the breathing settle. Now grounding through the left leg. Lifting your right. Flex your foot. Tighten your tummy. Now back into that warrior three position. So tilting, pivoting from the hips. Engage left glutes. Stretch back into your right heel. Try and keep the hips level. This is the tricky part of this pose, leveling your hips. Gently bend your left knee and float back into your lunge position. Bring the heel forward and up over the toes. Reach the arms up. The lunges are great because you get all the strengthening work in the glutes and sometimes stretching work at the front of the hips into the hip flexors. So I do love a lunge, I must say. You probably noticed that. Now straightening the arms down beside you, straighten both the left leg. Inhale up, bend the left leg, sink down. Exhale, straighten. Inhale, bend, reach up. Exhale, straighten. Arms down. One more like that. Whoop, there goes the door. Inhale up, arms, bending the left knee. Right, lower the right knee to the floor. Inhale, coming up. Actually, let's leave the hands on the hips. Lower the knee to the floor. Inhale up. Left knee staying bent all the time this time, so just the right knee bending. Right knee to the floor. Inhale up. Right knee to the floor. Inhale up. One more like that. Down and up. And a little vinyasa. So hands down, step back. Exhale, lower, chaturanga, hold it. Push forward and up. Upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Lengthen and stretch. Release into your glutes to allow you to stretch back a little deeper. From here, we're going to bring ourselves through to sitting. So you can cross both legs, sit yourself down. I'll spin to face you. So, revising my plan now. Okay, so let's straighten out the legs. So hopefully, depending on your floor covering, you hopefully will be able to slide. My feet are off the mat, so I can slide them up like this. A little bit of work for those hip flexors. So while you stretch them, you need to also strengthen. So Keep your hands down beside you. Sit nice and tall. Hopefully you can drag your heels. And we'll bend the knees and drag the feet. Exhale, let them come wide again. Inhale, keep your core strong, chest lifting. And then back out again. So one more like that. Inhale in and exhale, back out. Now we're going to bend the knees, bring the feet in. Keep your hands supporting you outside if you like. And we're going to just start to windscreen wiper is what I like to, what we call this. So letting the knees come side to side. Just a few to kind of ease into the hips. My bum always works forward onto the mat, see if that happens for you. And coming back to center. So just doing it with the right leg. So I'll do it with you on the left just for demonstration now. We're going to let the knee fall in. Okay, so leave the other one upright if you can. And see if you can still press down into that sit bone, that right sit bone. So here you can feel we're creating an internal rotation in the hip. Okay, so just press that. That might feel really icky for a lot of you because it's not something we do in everyday life very much. So just hold that one for a moment and inhale up. So external rotation, a bit more obvious. Open the knee out to the side, roll onto the outer edge of your foot. And again, press both sit bones down as much as you can. Let that knee come out. Inhale up. Okay, let's do the same with the other side. So left in. Take a moment to let it be. And up. And then external rotation, opening the knee out. And just becoming aware of that sense of internal and external rotation in the hips. Sitting nice and tall and straight, use your core. Press it down. Keep both sit bones on the mat if you can. Now, coming up. I'll get confused in my lefts and rights now. Anyway, let's try. I'm going to try the mirroring effect. We're going to bring ourselves to the right. And what I want you to try and create is this 90-degree bend at both knees. So it's an unfortunate reference, but it looks a bit like a swastika. Keep your feet flexed. You want a 90-degree bend here. Kind of a 90-degree bend at the hip and again at the knee and again at the foot. So the feet are flexed, so you've got that sense of 90, 90, 90. So from here, we're going to take a twist. So take your right hand behind you, your left hand to your knee, and lift and lengthen, take a twist. Again, you've got the external rotation, internal rotation. Do you feel? I feel a good stretch here through the outer hip into the waist. That's where our banana bending came in earlier in the season. And coming up, let's go to the other side for that same twist. So again, knees going to the other side, trying to maintain that 90-degree angle in both. You might have to readjust the hips slightly to keep it. Then to bring your right hand towards your left foot or shin, lengthen up and twist. Use your core to create that space at the waist. And back. Okay, we're going to go back over to the right, bending into that 90-degree angle. So again, just reshift yourself to find the 90-degree. And for me, I don't know, whatever position you're in, but for me, my shin now is parallel with the short end of my mat. So if you're faced differently, it doesn't matter, just see if you can get your shin parallel with the side of the mat. I'm just going to give you an idea. We're going to lean in and take a forward fold over that leg. So start to ease forward as far as you can go. maybe even down to the elbows, but kind of pressing down into that shape in the leg and that rotation in the hip. So it's a little bit like a pigeon, but a bit easier because you've got this back leg bent. You can, of course, straighten it out to take yourself into a deeper version of the pigeon and come off your right hip. So that's one way of doing it. But today, I invite you to keep it bent. Okay. Now, it's a little bit of isometric work here. So isometric really means that we're working against the force of our own body, and there's very little I can show you. It's all about connecting your mind to the muscles of your body. So I want you to, with force, press your shin down into the mat, okay? So what you're doing here is really engaging the muscles to create that force, that sense of force. So lean in a little bit and really use the muscles of the hip to press that leg down into the mat. So just holding here for 5, 4, keep pressing, keep engaging, 3, 2, 1, and relax it for a moment. Now I want you to give the sense of lifting that leg up towards you. It won't move. It's just an engagement of the muscles to feel the opposite of that, to like as though you're trying to lift your knee and foot away from the ground. So lean in again and then engage the muscles to kind of feel like you're trying to lift the leg up towards you. You're kind of working against yourself at the same time. 3, 2, 1, and release. Okay, we're going to shift our attention to the back leg, still at its 90 degree. Lean forward over that right leg again, and then start to lift the foot away from the floor. And up, and down, and up, and down. You can feel the muscles of the outer hip working. So these are the ones we need to engage when we're coming into that warrior 3 position that we did earlier. And down, and up, and down. Right, try and sit up taller and do the same thing. You might find a bit of dead leg style cramping in your leg, or you're doing that dead leg you used to give each other when we were kids. I don't know, is that just my house? If anyone's got brothers, you know all about dead legs. So lift up, if you went to boarding school like me. So lift up your leg, trying to stay upright. You might feel that sensation, and if that happens, of course, just release, let it go, straighten the leg perhaps, do whatever you need to do to release that cramp. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. Let's do one more. Inhale up, hold it a second, and come down. Now lean over to the right a little bit more, and we're going to lift up the whole knee to shin, to foot, so the whole shin, up and down, up and down. Engage your core, up, down, up and down. Okay, how are we doing? Right, we're going to, this time, you might need to see this before you go there. Inhale up, bring the knee forward, straighten it out, bend it in, bring it round, and gently bring it back to where it started. You're going to do that 3 more times. Okay, so lift up, stretch it forward, bend it back in, bring it around, and bring it down. Inhale up, exhale forward, inhale, bend in the knee, bring it around, exhale, and back into position. Last one, inhale up. See if you can do it without your hands this time. And back in, and to the side, and down. Okay, this time, last one. See if you can do it without the hands again. Up, forward, stretch. Now wiggle your right foot out to the side a bit, lower the left down. And we found ourselves, and I'll spin around just so you can see me better, into Janu Sirsasana position, something nice and familiar. We'll let this hip rest. We'll work a little bit on the right again. So bring the foot into the heel in towards the groin as much as possible. Press the foot into the inner left thigh, excuse me. Inhale, reach up. Create space, get length, get wiggly if you like. And exhale. Come forward into your fold. Let your hands rest wherever they reach. Let your shoulders soften, but try and draw them back if you can. Lengthen the neck. And allow yourself to be drawn down. It's a nice stretch out for that left hip now. Okay, inhale, engage your core, lift up. Exhale, let's twist to the right. So bring your left hand to your right knee, bring your right hand behind you, lift and lengthen, and twist. Keep the twist, let go with your hands. Use your legs, your hips, your core strength to keep you twisting and hold. You can just let your hands hover, you don't have to be so dramatic. Love the drama. And exhale, release back to forward. We're going to bring the right hand back to the behind the right knee. We're going to, and I'll spin to the side so you'll see better. So hands here, we're going to come up onto this knee, flatten this left foot to the floor, and just take a nice big side stretch. Those muscles that we were working here, as I said, feeling that stretch, let's arch back, push the hips forward as much as you can, open the chest, bring that left arm back. And exhale. Release, okay. Bring the feet back to their position. Feet wide, knees bent, back on the mat. And we'll just let them sway side to side again. Cleansing the palate a little. Sorbet between sides. Okay. Going to the other side. So left side. So I'm going to try and get my shin parallel with that end of the mat again. Flex the foot. Make your 90-90 degree shape. You're kind of, again, sorry about the reference, but it's a swastika shape, really. Which had nice origins, I believe, in the East, so probably aligned with our yogic philosophies. So, holding here and gently starting to fold in over that left leg. Stop a little bit, if you like. Firm up the hips. And then gently maybe go in a little bit deeper. Hold it here. And again, if you do feel like that's not really doing much for you, you want to stretch back into kind of full-on pigeon shape, do. It's the same principle in the hip. This is just a little milder. I feel we're kind of doing enough, there's enough strengthening work today to kind of compensate for not going full-on pigeon. But if it feels good, yeah, do it. Okay, coming up, just leaning in slightly and again pressing that shin firmly like you're trying to make a dent in your floor with that leg into the ground. So press, 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 press. 5, 4, core strong. 3, 2, 1. Now see if you can feel like you're trying to lift it away from a force that's pressing it down, trying to lift it back up towards you. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And okay, back to the back leg. So make sure it's at its kind of 90 degrees. So you adjust. It's not hard to maintain that shape all the time. So see, don't worry if you need to adjust. We're leaning forward again over that left leg and lifting the right foot up off the floor. Down and up, down and up. Again, using the glutes, strengthening the glutes to get that rotation in the leg. And the strength to lift the foot away from the floor. Let's just do one more like that. And bring the foot down and sit yourself up taller. Watch out for that dead leg feeling. Maybe it's just me. You can tell me later. Inhale, anyone get a dead leg? I see you crumpling in a heap. I know that's happened. Up and down. Stay strong, stay long in your spine. And down. Notice, do you feel that there's one glute stronger than the other? Is this easier this side? Is it harder? You've already worked this hip on the other side a bit as well, so you might find a little bit easier. I don't know. I think this is a stronger hip for me. Okay, both knee and foot together now. So this time you might need to lean over to the right a little, to the left, sorry. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. Engage the core, let that everything work together. And down, up, and down, up, and down. Okay, take a little pause. We're going to do that rotate, that full rotation at the hip thing. So we're going to be lifting the leg, bringing it forward, unraveling it, straightening it out. Okay, so lifting up, rotate at the hip, stretch forward, bring the knee back in, round to the side, and down. And you'll really feel like you're gluing yourself to the ground with this base leg. Okay, so your left leg this time. Inhale up. Maybe you can do it with no hands. Bend the knee in, round back to the side, and back down. Inhale up, forward, stretch out. Inhale back in, and down. One more. Inhale up, forward, stretch it out. In, back, and down. Okay. Let's bring it forward one more time, and then we'll take it into our stretches. So inhale up, stretch it forward, bring the left knee out a little, that you land yourself into Janu position. So left knee out to the side this time, right leg straightening, hip taking a rest. Just getting a stretch now. So inhale, stretch up. Exhale, hold in. Lengthen your spine to really feel like your sternum is being drawn up and forward towards your toes or beyond. So you're getting a lengthening in your lower back. Okay, so always careful not to just round in, curl in to try and get the nose to the knee. So it's nose to the toes. Okay, inhale, bring yourself up, engage your core as you rise. Twist, round to the left, so right hand to left knee, left hand behind you, lift and lengthen, and twist. Okay, releasing the twist a bit, just bring your left hand just behind your left knee a little. Sweep your arm forward, flatten down your toes. Again, come to the side so you better flatten down the big toe towards the floor. Come on up. Arch back. Push the hips forward and engage your glute muscles to kind of push the hips forward. Bring the arm back. Take a stretch. Look up. And exhale, release. One last windscreen wipering of the legs. Bend the knees. This time we'll do it without hands. So use your core. Exhale down to one side. Inhale up. Over to the other side. Inhale up. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. I've come all the way to the front of the mat. And back. Get myself back. Let's bend the knees. Engage the core. Take the arms in front. Bring yourself back. Engaging the core, keeping the belly really hugged in. If you feel it doming up, try and press it back in. Relax the shoulders, hold it here. And inhale, sit back up again. Rest the arms. Take a break, take a rest. Now, same again, arms out in front. Lowering down a little bit closer to your lower back. Now, so you come right onto the lumbar spine, but keep your middle and upper back off the mat. So keep lifting, keep engaging the core, pressing your belly down and towards the ground. If you can lift your feet, do. Otherwise, keep the feet on the ground. Ardha Navasana. Bend the knees. Release yourself to the floor. Take the feet wide. Actually, no, hip distance. One last little bridge before we come into Shavasana, into a final twist. Bring the hands down beside you. Walk the feet in close to the buttocks. Inhale, start to lift the hips up. Walk your shoulders in underneath you. Maybe interlace your hands if that works for you. Press the baby fingers into the mat if that's the case. Otherwise, just keep the hands flat, pressing into the ground. Use those muscles of the glutes to keep the hips pressing up. Keep your pubic bone drawing in towards your heart. One more breath. Release the hands if they're interlaced. Release the shoulders. And then work your way down along your spine back. And now take the feet wide now. Knees still bent. Arms out. And let the knees fall to the right. Again, that same windscreen wiper effect of internal rotation now in your left leg, external in your right. Inhaling to come up. Last time now over to the other side. Left. Lift the knees back to center. And you can come into Shavasana. Left or both legs stretching out towards the corners of your mat. Let the feet flop out to the sides and feel that kind of just gentle, natural kind of external rotation of the legs and the hips to just soften to the floor. Feel the buttocks spreading out and softening into the ground. And just take a moment to observe the hips. You may feel heat around the joints, yourselves. Maybe a little fatigue. I don't know, just notice what you're feeling. Allow your back to soften into the ground, your shoulders to soften, flattening, so maybe adjusting if needed. Softening your face, your jaw, flipping your palms to face the ceiling. Curling, allowing the fingers to curl in naturally. And coming back to stillness. Coming back to your breath. Without trying to control it, just observe how the natural breath falls now. And here I will leave you to rest for as long as you need. Thank you very much for practicing with me today. Lovely to see you. Namaste.